though, for communications in the future with the Saudis? I mean, does it make it more pressing to engage with them on this issue?
We have, obviously, regular engagement with the Saudis at multiple levels. And the thing that we ultimately stand for is a stable, effective supply of energy to the global markets so that we can, in fact, deliver relief to consumers at the pump, and also that we do this in a way that is consistent with the energy transition over time. And that's one of our main focuses heading into the G20, delivering on an agenda of fundamentally reshaping and scaling up the multilateral development banks, especially the World Bank and the IMF. Just last month, President Biden asked Congress for additional funds that would have the impact of increasing World Bank financing by more than $25 billion.
Given that you said bolstering the World Bank is not about countering China, in this country, credit card delinquencies have spiked, mortgage rates are through the roof, inflation remains a problem. Meanwhile, the federal deficit this year has almost tripled, and the president wants to increase funding to foreign nations through the World Bank. How is that fair to Citizen in, say, Scranton?
Look, I think citizens in Scranton recognize that problems that happen overseas don't stay overseas. They come here too, at great cost to working people. Greater prosperity, greater capacity in the rest of the world, that is going to end up reducing the costs and burdens on working people in Scranton or Minneapolis or any of your all's hometowns.
It seems like every administration, when it gets into office, complains about the problems it inherits from the previous administration. But how do you defend this administration's role with issues like Russia, China, North Korea, Iran? It seems like in all of those cases, our relationship is worse than it was before.
With respect to China, I'm not sure I'd agree with your characterization of the previous administration, but I'm not interested in comparisons. We're taking our own approach on this, which is to ensure that we compete intensively to put the United States in the strongest position possible, while at the same time managing that competition so that it doesn't tip over into conflict. We believe we are managing the competition effectively. And from the question of what we inherited to where we are today, if you look at the U.S. economy and you look at China's economy, if you look at the U.S.'s alliances and the strength that we have built up in the Indo-Pacific and beyond, we feel very good about the strategic position of the United States in terms of the unfolding competition. With respect to Iran, I would just point out that under the administration before the previous guy, Iran's nuclear program was in a box. The last guy let it out of the box. We are now trying to manage the results of that decision. And to North Korea, the previous administration believed that if it simply engaged in summit-level diplomacy, it could end North Korea's missile and nuclear program. By the time we took office, North Korea's missile and nuclear programs had accelerated dramatically. All of this, we believe we will leave better than we found it by the time President Biden exits this office.